kinds of stuff going on here. No, I'm in the wrong place. I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, here we're actually on Siman Vav, but I went back to Siman Bet, and let's see. Start here on. I got the place now. Okay. Now, this is the concept of many things going on at the same time, and overlapping tikkunim, or the tikkun process constantly overlapping itself. So here we had, after number Dalet, up above, so he says, V'na'asa zivug da'aba v'ima v'noldim mochim chadashim yosir ma'ulam v'nimshach the zoom, and they come to zoom. V'lachar mekan b'nefilas apayim. Then after that, when we come to Filas Apayim, the chakras, Na'asa chazivug hagomer loholeda, that's when the real zivug takes place. He says in the Filas Apayim, which is Tachnun, in that place. And I think that, really goes according to the David Hashem Mizmor, or whatever it is, the number 27, Psalm 27. It really uses that as the model. Let's go over to number Hey down below and we have just like another page or so, and then we'll go back to try to finishing this up. So he said, "V'das kama b'farshim." The thinking of many people is that the Filas Apayim, the chakras, Na'asa Haziva b'Keda b'Benimim, the parts of God, Shah, Hakol of them. So every time you get to this, in every davening in the morning, you're actually going to be completing a complete tikkun of Kad Shaos from the 3 days before that. Say the 3 days before that. Let's say the 2 days before that. But then the question is, you're going to do the Filas Apayim again, the second time. So then you're going to make a tikkun again. But this is going to be that was for the kelim panemium, because in chakras goes with panemius, and in mincha it starts going to the MCEM. So other places, it says when you talk about the panemium, you're talking about probably the Chabad. When you're talking about the MCEM, you're talking about a tikkun in the Chagat, and then uva arvis na'az ziva b'kelim mitzonim shadachem, you're making a yichud in the kitzonim. The Arvis, well, okay, so wow. So he said, but at nighttime, ain't bon the Filas Apayim. So how does this work? Because you said that what you're doing, basically, you're making a tikkun in the panemius at chakras. Then you come and you make another tachnun, and you do that in the afternoon, and that's making for the imsoi. But how do you do that at nighttime if there's no Nefilas Apayim? So he says the zivug ba'atzbech shelo al yedenu, but the zivug takes place itself. So therefore, he used the word zivug, which makes it's also taking place at them. And again, the confusion is that at nighttime it's really the beginning of the next day. So anyway, Kevin Shachadin Goverbi says because the din is so strong at that time, so there's no Nefilas Apayim, but Dasa al Ninachor Sham. So I don't know anything about that. I looked at Ashkivenu, and Ashkivenu is a bracha at the end. Is that what he means? That yichud there with that? I don't know. This is what the Rav says in Shaar Hakavanot. He says Shabbat a mincha v'arvis hayichud hu bebechinas ach ba'ach. Came in the clear Amsoy who bebechinas chagat, because so I got that from over here. He says that the kli Amsoy who bebechinas ag chagat, the kli achitzon bechinas nai, over erech kli habenimi. So if you look at them in relationship to the kli habenimi, shuhu chaba nechshav in the ach, they're considered to be ach. It's not. He says. It sounds like he's saying it's not to say that it's actually a yichud of the ach. It's actually a yichud of the panemius, but in relationship to the whole sequence, which is panemi, emsoy, and chitzon. The emsoy and the chitzon are going to be like acharayim in relationship to the other one. Akasade choldek b'sover, but the sade he argues with this, and he holds like this: Shirak v'defilas apayim the chakras, Na'asa zivug de Kad Shaar, that's the only time that a yichud takes place that has to do with Kad Shaar. And according to him, what about the Tfilas Avayim de Mincha? Na'asa zivug de Yisra v'Leah, that's what's happening over there. The kelim b'minimium of them. So this is another leapfrog type of deal, or maybe the overlay or overlap of something that's happening, because every day there's a mincha, and he wants to say, his words are Na'asa zivug de Yisrael v'Leah, and it's not a yichud of Yaakov and Rachel. It's Yisrael and Leah. The kelim b'minimium starts then, and you're going to get another cycle. So let's go on. And so he's telling us a thought that we didn't have before we started looking at this. I'll get you a little drink of water here. That in all of the tefillos, there are multiple things going on. So the next piece, he says, B'kol yom na'asim kol ha'shloshos tikkunim. Every day, you make all 3 tikkunim. So he wants to explain a little bit, and he says, "V'hine kevin shekol parts of nimshach seder tikkun shloshos yomim." So now we're talking about the Kad Shaos. So the difference over here is that every day all of these 3 things are going on. Nimshach b'kol yom v'yom na'asa kol seder hatikun. El shekol echad mechelke hatikun na'asa b'parts of acher, but each one has to do with different parts of. For example, the parts of ach, the parts of apanim, the parts of the yichud. Kagon b'yom gimel shel hashvua. Let's take the 3rd day. That's Tuesday. That was yesterday. Na'as is hamshachas hamochin the ach. So now you have the hamshacha of the mochins of ach. The parts is zun the yom gimel, which is going to be the partsufim of zun for the 3rd day. It's because now you're on the 3rd day. Sha'ata hu hayom arishon letikkunim. So when you come to the 3rd day is going to have a beginning too. It's going to have a beginning, it's going to have a middle, and it's going to have a sof. Lokomo kein na'ase dormita v'nesira v'zivug kli v'rucha v'hamshachas hamochin deponim lepartzufi zun the yom beis. But at the same time, yom beis, which was Monday, is still in play. When Monday started out, and Monday started out with the Acharayim. Now Monday on the 2nd, which would be the 2nd day for Monday, which is actually the 3rd day of the whole week, you have 2 things going on. Partzufi zun the yom beis shel hashivua shachayom ku hayom hasheni the tikkunim, because this would be the 2nd day for their tikkun. Let's see, I lost a place here. So again, he says v'zivug kli v'ruch. Oh, that's not where I'm at. Sha'ata chabehu hayom harishon the tikkunim. Gemo kein na'asa dormita v'nesira v'zivug kli v'rucha v'chamshachas hamochin deponim. The parts of Zun the Yom Beis. So for the parts of the Zun that started on the 2nd day, you're going to have Shacha, which is going to be Penimius. Shel HaShavua Shachayom Ku Hayom B'Sheni the Tikkunim, because this is the 2nd day of their Tikkun. The Etmol, now the next day, B'Yom Beis, Shel HaShavua, on the 2nd day of the Beis, Kuvar Na'asa Mechem Seder HaTikkun Da'ach, you've already had the Tikkun Da'ach for them, so therefore on the 2nd day, you're going to be dealing with that. Gemo came na'asa zivug b'parts zun. So herefore we're making a yichud in the partzufi zun. The yom echad shel shavua shehem hu yom shlisha tikkunim. So actually, if you get to Tuesday, you're talking about the 3rd day. The 3rd day, which is going to be the ultimate tikkun for yichud of the 1st day. So hopefully that explanation makes sense. The Yom Rishon na'asa bechem seder hatikun. The Yom Rishon, on the 1st day you make a tikkun there. The Etmol, and the day before bechem b'Yom Sheni, you're going to do for the 2nd day of the week. Kavar na'asa bechem seder hatikun the Yom Sheni, because it's already been done. Now, I went through it pretty quickly, but the idea is that it's sequential. On the 1st day, you do the 1st day, which is Acharayim. Then the 2nd day, you're going to go do the Panim for that, and the 3rd day, you're going to make the Yichud for that. But that's also started each time that you started a new day, you had a new beginning. So these overlapping tikkunim, that's part of the idea. So now we have number Vav here. V'da od, he says, The Kakol HaSeder HaAmor Hu Gam B'Parts of Azmanim HaNisake B'Moadei HaShana. So this is a new idea. Through this idea, the same thing, this overlapping things. So in other words, like today, there are three different tikkunim that are taking place on today is the fourth day. So you start at the fourth day is going to be the first day for the fourth day, and the second day for the day before it, and the third day for the day before that. It just keeps going round robin. Kagon, but now he wants to say that this also has to do with the zamanim, with holidays. We just went through Yom Noraim. B'Yom Noraim shena'asa b'chem seder tikkun shalim. Hakol seder hamshachas mochin da'ach, which has within it the hamshacha that is during this period of time mochin da'ach. Then the Nesira, which is the second day, v'hamshachas mochin da'panim, which is the third day. If we're talking about excuse me, that's continuation. Until you have a yichud at Shmini Atzeres. So that's looking at the Yomim Na'arayim in general. Azai, then, aim called a tikkunim al-leducha na'as parts of echad. You don't have all the tikkunim taking place just in one part of, like he said, like that. Ala b'shlosha partsufim shone, but three different partsufim. Hamshachas amochin da'ach na'as parts of azmanim d'shana zu. Now he says it really has to do with the yearly cycle. So it's not just a 3-day cycle. It's also a yearly cycle. In the first year, the Shana Zu. So the first thing is the Ach, you're going to do the Ach on this particular year. So here we just came through, we did the Ach Arayim for this year. That's what we did. That's what he's saying. He says of Zu, V'chanesira hamshachas hamochin deponim na'as beparts of Zman Deshana Sha'avra, so it's going to take place for the last year. V'chazivig na'asa beparts of Zmanim, so the zivug that takes place in the parts of Zmanim Shal Shana Shalifnech Shana Sha'avra. So in other words, 2 years back. So we're actually making a tikkun. He says in I guess he said originally the Zmanim, so it must refer to Pesach and Shavuos also. Just like that. Okay, so more leapfrog, or that's not the right word, it's more overlap. So now we come to this idea here. How much more time do we have? We have a couple of minutes. So he says, now, this is a new way of expressing its expression to me. So it's a little bit difficult for me to fit it in, and he could try to fit it in. So Mefarshim lamdu b'divrei RASHASH. So the Mefarshim learned from the RASHASH. The Mevad Seder HaTikun, the parts of Kad Shaot HaKol HaNizkar. Yesh Od Seder Tikun B'Pratos, V'hu Nikra parts of Kad Shaot haprati. So this would be like, it seems to me, we'll see if I can understand it, that this is like inside of each one of the days, there's also something specific that's going on in each one of those days. The Meshach called Hakad Shao. So now we're talking about the 24 hours of the day. The Sakim Dal Bechila Sheyesh Bezun. So specifically looking inside of them, and of course this is a whole concept to begin with of what the nature of these mochin is, which could use I think a really deep understanding of try to work with them. He said, which are the ma de ma, the ma de ben, and the ben de ben, and the ben de ma. Each one of these takes place during that day. Some kind of a tikkun or a yichud between them. Bechinas sheyesh bezun, they're inside. So each one of them has a different time during this 24-hour period. I think that's what he's talking about, for this to take place. The parts of ben to ben, let's talk about that one. When does the yichud of I'm not even sure what happens in parts of ben, yes, but anyway, we'll see what it says. The parts of ben to ben, so let's look at the nighttime. So this parts of, and that's the dealing with the problem is that the nighttime, the Marav, is really beginning of the next day. So over here he says that, well, that's the time of ben to ben, the real darkness, real super darkness. So the tikkun, the parts of ben to ma, now the ben part, the female part of the male, so that was female. Now the female part of the male, na'asa b'tikun b'chatzos, so the boker b'chatzos, so the boker, so that takes place during the time when most people sleep. The parts of ma'dema, na'asa chatikun ba'alas ha'shachar, ad chatzos ha'yom. The parts of ma'deben, that is the male aspect of the female, na'asa chatikun b'chatzos ha'yom, ad halaylo. That's where you see that tikkun taking place. So he divided it up, and he said that look inside of what's actually going on in the day. There's one thing to say that you have the overlapping days, but at the same time, and that each one of them, there is a tikkun that's taking place in these mochim. So I really don't understand exactly the implications of trying to understand the mochim, and maybe some will find some more information. Here we have a number Zion down at the bottom. We have 2 minutes. I don't know if I can get through it, but it actually has some length, but we'll start it. The simple understanding of this is Tikkun of Kad Shaot haprati na'asa b'gimel yomim. Over the course of the gimel yomim, you have this Tikkun of Kad Shaot haprati. Rak hu shoyne Tikkun of Kad Shaot hakola, but it's different. So this is hard for me to understand. All of it takes place at one time. In other words, at Shachris, you have 3 things going on. Abizman echad biyomim beis and gimel. So once you get to the second or the third days, you're going to have multiple things happening at the same time in each day. Because you're going to say when the nighttime starts on the second day, that's going to be dealing with the bringing the nook around the dormita, v'chanasira, v'chaziva, the bia rishona, because arbacha partsufim, and all of the 4 partsufim, that's going to happen. What are the 4 partsufim? He says ma de ben, ben de ma, u ben de ben. All of those 4 things are going to be dealing with this concept of nasira and zivug. That's a lot to process, all of that. Then you get to the Filas Apayim, the Yom Gimel. When you get to the Filas Apayim on the 3rd day, Nahasa Ziva B'Kol Partzuf Mike'echad, then the Yichud take place at the same time by the 3rd day of all 3 of them. Masha Ein came Beseder Tikun of Prati, but that's not the case by Tikkun of Prati. Nahasa Beseder Tikkun Nosif, it has a different Tikkun that's going on, to an additional Tikkun B'Kol Echad Mecha Partzim B'La'atzman, dealing with the Partzufim themselves, something going on there. Kagon Shabbatachid Leil Yom Beis. Let's start there. Nasa Dormita, that's when the Dormita, V'Nesira, V'Zivug, the Bia Rishon, the parts of the Ben. That's just when, now, he says Yom Bet. The Yom Bet would be the beginning of the Nesira and so on and so forth. Nasa Dormita, Nesira, V'Zivug, the Bia Rishon. But it's going to always be in this particular parsa because of the time of the day of Ben to Ben. And we have a little bit more of a chatzos, a lila. So when you come to midnight, a lila, the parts of Ben Dema, it's going to go on like that. So I think we're out of time. We'll come back and we'll do it again. It's all this I want to say leapfrog. It's not leapfrog, it's overlay. All of this overlay is coming every single day. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Rebbe, for learning with me so much.